Welcome back to the Kings of Horror.
Every day in the month of October, Ryan, Turek, and I are going to be reviewing a theatrically released Stephen King horror movie.
Man, I gotta tell you, I am super excited about this episode because we get to talk about 1983's John Carpenter's Christine.
Let's check it out.
Christine is your classic story of boy meets car, boy falls for car, boy meets girl, and car becomes insanely jealous, trying to kill girl and just about anyone else that comes between the boy and his car. In this case, we're talking about the high school nerd Arnie Cunningham, played by Keith Gordon, and his 1958 Plymouth Fury named Christine. Christine is an energetic and stylish entry in the possessed car subgenre, which is populated by films like The Car, which I absolutely love. Carpenter brings his A game to the table here with a great score, amazing camera work, great characters. I love this movie so much.
You left out the visual effects, and the scene where there's a scene where Christine fixes herself.
Yes.
That is one of the most amazing visual effects in cinema history. It looks gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Rewatching it, I'm still dissecting how they did that.
They just had this wench that crunched it from in, and they played it backwards, and it's just incredible. This is a great movie. I love this movie. And this movie works. This movie feels pretty straightforward. In some ways, if you're just sort of looking at it on the surface, it's almost like a macho Carrie.
Yeah.
He's a teen, everyone kind of shits on him, and then he gets a supernatural power, in this case a supernatural car, takes his revenge. But there's a little bit more going on here. This is about a first love that's actually a very...
unhealthy.
It's a very unhealthy romance, and it just happens to be with a guy in his car, and we romanticize cars in this country, particularly classic cars. And just seeing the way that Arnie just devolves from a very nice kid who just wants one thing that's all his own, and seeing how that completely turns around on him is tragic.
Yes, but the funny thing with Arnie, though, is, yes, he goes from this kind of like misfit to tough guy, cool guy thing. But Arnie is so socially inept, too, that you almost want to smack him upside the head, you know? It's really funny when he's at...
You're the gym teacher from Carrie right now.
Yeah, exactly. I like when he's at Darnell's junkyard, you know? And Darnell's like, hey, let me help you out. Maybe you could fix up. Maybe like a little relationship thing going on. I'll give you some free parts. You work for me. And he goes, well, think about it. No, you
don't
say
think about
yes.
it too
Don't you
hard.
think about it too hard. It's like, you know, Arnie, you're kind of a shithead.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, it really is kind of John Stockwell's story, too, because it's all about his character watching this, you know, one of his friends slip away into, you know, something really unhealthy and how he's kind of almost helpless.
This is actually one of my favorite teen movies from the 80s as well. And part of it is the John Stockwell character. He's the jock who's like friends with a nerd, but it's actually a really healthy, friendly, they're good for each other. He's trying to help him out. He's trying to hook him up with women, try to get him out into the world. It almost reminds me of like an evil version of, what's that Corey Haim movie? Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
It almost reminds me of like an evil Lucas, where Lucas gets an evil car.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies, and that's saying something. It holds up amazingly well.
Yeah, I do. I think so, too.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is great, too.
Soundtrack is amazing. Well, it's John Carpenter, of course it is.
Well, also some of the songs that they play through, you know, like what Christine plays.
Which they totally stole for the Transformers movies when Bumblebee can only talk in radio segments. Sons of bitches. Christine, one of my favorite Stephen King horror movies, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Maybe not as meaningful as it could be in order to be an all-time classic, but I give it 4 Kings.
I would give it 4 out of 5 Kings as well. I think this is an incredibly strong piece of work for John Carpenter. I think the characters are nicely drawn. The other one, Buddy Repperton, man. Coolest badass dude on the block. But yes, it's a childhood classic for myself, and I think it holds up really well. Christine, 4 out of 5. Tomorrow, we take a look at Children of the Corn. Cool.